Good day, good people. In this lesson, toda kudzidzira kuti tinoconverta sei kana kuti tinoexpressa sei mavectors in column form. Saka toda kutanga taita a recall kana kuti a revision on what we did in our O level. Saka tiri ku O level, takadzidza kuti vectors are written in column form. Saka we already know that vectors are expressed in column form. And kana tichiti column form, tiri kureva kuti anga kadai so x, y. Saka since tiri interested nema position vectors, tinoziva kuti ma position vectors, what happens with them? Position vectors, they are Saka position vectors are from the true origin, kana ngoti origin, and we know kuti origin then the 0, 0. So what's happening here is, let us say we have this Cartesian plane. We have a point A, and the coordinates of this point the 2, 3. Tikada kuziva the position vector here, we know kuti tichatangira pa origin panapa, where we obviously have 0, 0. Then we draw a straight line connect the origin to point A. Then we put an arrow to the direction of the vector. Then the position vector panapa OA, which is written like this, is going to be equal to, remember the column formed xy, kureva kuti inenge iri 2, 3, like that. Saka this is how we express that vector, that position vector in column form. But I want us to widen our imagination. Let us say we have the same Cartesian xy plane, but now point yedu A yava panapa. That is what we want to imagine. Then point A iri upper, we know kuti inenge irichi ma coordinates upper, we can imagine kuti ndi 3 for x, then 0 for y. So what is happening here now is, teacher connect a line from origin to A. This is the direction. OA inenge equal to 3, 0. And I also want you to try kuti kokana tine a point B panapa, and the value of the y-axis up and d4, what is going to be the position vector OB. Now tichiri panapa taona kuti ndo mafambiro azvinoita. If we look at our two questions panapa, which we are going to be answering in this pseudo tutorial, we are going to see kuti tiri pano we can actually express this vector in this form. And vector redu panapa taona kuti OA angari 2, 3. Tinogona kunyora this vector in this form. Tinogona kuti 2x plus 3y. Saka xe iri kutiudza kuti 2 unoyu ndiyo component ye vector iri ku x-axis. Then y unoyu ari kutiudza kuti 3 ndiye component ye vector iri ku y-axis. So we can write it like that. Tinogona kuya futi panapa, this is going to be 3x. Of course we can extend toti plus 0y, but tinogona kusanyora manje kuti plus 0y. Saka question inenge yakungoya yakati express 3x as a vector in column form. Saka zvakubva kwamuri manje kuti muzive kuti x unoyo ari kutiudza kuti 3 ndiyo component yevector kux axis, and because hatina kupiwa any component yevector kuy axis, it should automatically mean kuti panapa it's plus 0y. Kureva kuti kana takunyora our vector kuexpress our vector in column form, it's obviously going to be 3 0 like that. Maona kuti zvinoitwa sei. Saka kuti plus 0y is something we have to infer because of our understanding of vectors. Okay, allow me to clear this part. I want to introduce something. Now what is happening here is tiri ku O level taingodhila nema vectors akanga ari of the form x, y. Inini I call them 2D vectors, two-dimensional vectors. Nekuti we are going to have an xy plane. We have a point A with its coordinates 2, 3. We connect the origin to that point. We put an arrow toziva kuti OA is xy, which is 2, 3. This is a rough summary of O level. When it comes to pure maths, kana ngoti A level, we are no longer dealing with 2D vectors. Of course, sometimes we deal with 2D vectors, but we introduce what are called 3D vectors, three-dimensional vectors. With 3 dimensions, unobva papi, unobva pakuti iko zvinotana ichi. This is going to be our plane. This is y. X. Then we are also going to have another dimension, which is called z. Saka kana tikada kuidraw tisingaisi ma extensions aya, it's going to be something like this. This is y, x, then z, like that. It's now 3-dimensional. Saka kana tine a point now, point yedu inenge iri suspended in this 3-dimensional space. So it's going to be a little difficult to express because ndiri kudraw zvinizvi on a 2-dimensional paper. But let us say this will be our B. Murgona. Of course, if it is a position vector, still whichever origin, this is our origin. Tichinobata that point B with our arrow, that does not change. But now B has on a 2-dimensional plane, B are suspended in space on a 3-dimensional plane. So tichiri pano zvinoreva kuti ma vectors edu in column form are expressed as x, y, z. Saka z is a dimension which we have introduced. Kureva kuti b unoyu tinogona kuti the x component of b is 1, the y component of b is 3, then the z component of b is 4. Zvinenge zvakureva kuti the position vector OB is equal to 1, 3, 4. But phenomena yatambo discussa inoitika tinogona kuwana maybe C ari achita lie on the x-axis like this. Saka what this then means is C weduyu tinenge ta eliminate the y component. X can be 3, y ava 0, then set what will set be? Maybe set is 2, like this. This brings us to an OC which is 3, 0, 2, like that. So that is how this is done. Let us now look at our 2 questions. So you are going to allow me to remove that which we were doing. So my questions are now are kuda kuti convert those vectors which are written in that linear form into column form. So if we start with E, saka E yakati I minus J plus K. So you should know kuti when we are talking about vectors, 3D vectors, which are of course on a 3-dimensional plane, Y, X, Z or Z, and sometimes uyo watiri kuti X anogona kunyorwa as I, then watiri kuti Y anogona kunyorwa as J, then watiri kuti Z anogona kunyora as K. So panapa we have I, J, K, and of course wakaisa tuma K put to indicate out my vectors. But here we have X, Y, Z. Saka you shouldn't confuse these two. So when we want to write this in column form, tinenge takungoti, this is going to be equal to, remember I, J, K, which are actually X, Y, Z, are just standing in for values. They are standing in for values. Got out, we are going to be taking the coefficients of I, J, K. Saka the coefficient of I in the 1, of J minus 1, of K the 1, like that. So this is going to be this vector written in column form. If we take the same exercise to F yakati I plus 4K. Remember the order: I, J, K, X, Y, Z. This is the order. Saka panapa tajambira J, kuroti tajambira Y. So what I encourage you do is you rewrite this as I plus 0J plus K. So that kana makuinyora in column form, you know kuti panapa it's 1, 0, then 1. It's wrong, hamadzangu, very wrong, kunyora kungoti 1, 4. No. That's not how you do it. You have to represent the component which is missing. In this case, the J connect Y by 0. So the answer here is 1, 0, 1. That is how it is done. Thank you for your attendance to this tutorial. May you please consider subscribing, liking, sharing so that our channel gains traction. If you want to join our private class, you can WhatsApp us on the numbers which are in the descriptions. Thank you and take care.